Well, you got the head of the snake in LeBron, and the fact that we understand everything starts and stops with him. There's certain things you want to give up with him, and certain things you have no choice in the matter. But you know, there's a pecking order as far as what we want to give up, what we want to live with. Scott, again, you're not going to take away everything from a good offensive player like him or a good offensive team like them. So there's a priority list that we want to go down and have our checklist. So you know, and that's going to change from maybe from quarter to quarter, definitely from game to game, and you know, it'll be a chess match and trying to stay a step ahead of what they're trying to do.
Do you feel like you have some different pieces to throw at them?
Well, again, we felt like we did last year, and we got some very flexible players, versatile players, to do some flexible schemes and different looks that you want to put at him. And because again, he's one of the best in the league as far as reading. He's seen every defense you've thrown at him, and as a young kid, it'd have been harder for him, but now it's nothing new under the sun for him. So we just got to be ready to have a variety of looks and be ready to throw them at him.
I don't know if I want to walk the line of saying go hurt a guy, but is there a fine line of being physical with a guy?
You have to be, and he respects that. I guarantee he respects that, you know, and he expects it too. So, you know, it's going to be a physical series from both sides. They'll be physical. We have to be physical. And that's the way the game has to be played. Now, what we have to do is draw the line where it's a foul and not a foul, and understand how the officials are going to call it and adjust, and not complain, not look at them for help, take care of business ourselves. But we have to understand how they're going to call the game, and so that's what it's going to be. It'll be a physical. It has to be a physical game.
Do you have anybody that can get under his skin the way?
You know, I don't, you know, subscribe to that. Physically, you got to get a. Psychologically, I don't know if that works or not. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't think it does on him, but I think physically, we have to make sure we have a presence. Whatever they're trying to run, have a presence and do it within the rules, without hurting anybody or whatever. But we have to be physical.
How much does the mental makeup of a guy like OG, someone who doesn't seem to get rattled, how much does that factor in at this time of the year when generally younger players have?
He's a mature young man. I don't think he's going to get rattled as far as the moment. Whether he makes a mistake or not, you know, that's going to happen. But I don't think he's a young man that I've seen it, and it's definitely in the first series with Washington. He did not get rattled. He was cool and under control in what he did, his thought process, and following. He had attention to detail. And, you know, he made mistakes, but for the most part, his attention to detail was like a veteran player. So that's the only thing you can ask for from a young player. He knocked down his shots, which, you know, usually is the first sign of a guy being, you know, overwhelmed, but he wasn't. He knocked down his shots. He made smart reads, and that's all you can ask for from a rookie.
What did you like and what didn't you like about the 3 games where you saw some of OG on LeBron in those matchups?
Again, you know, it's not just one player. It's the Toronto Raptors versus LeBron James. It's not going to be a one-on-one matchup, LeBron James versus OG. Even in specific, it's a team effort. You're not going to stop him one-on-one. He's got 4 other teammates that's got to help him. And, you know, the days of the one-on-one, you know, everybody, when he has the ball, everybody has a job to do. And that's the thought process we got to have. He's got to do his job on the ball. The weak side has to do their job on the ball. Because there's certain things we want to do, there's certain places we need to be. And if they're not, then, you know, it's all for naught. And so everybody's got a job to do when he has the ball in certain areas of the floor.
There was a stretch in Game 7 yesterday when they threw it to him 4 times in a row in the post, and I think they went three-pointer, layup, layup, layup. How have you seen him progress as a player in the post since you came into the league? And
Since I came into the league, LeBron wasn't born, was he? Uh-huh.
He came into the league.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay.
What can be done to stop that?
Well, again, like I said, it's not a one-man job. It's a five-man job to slow him down and to do their job. So it's not on one player. You know, he's got to do his job, whoever's guarding him. We're going to have multiple people guarding him and watching him. But everybody else has something to do. And in that particular instance, you know, Indiana had one philosophy, how they wanted to guard him. And, you know, there's not one right way or wrong way. You know, if he's scoring on it, it's not right. But there's one thing that they're going to live with and go with. You have to understand that. So, again, like I said, we're going to have different looks, different approaches to how to guard him, to guard their team. Again, he's shown that he's going to score his points. Now, what you can't do is let 3 or 4 other guys come up and have career nights. And so, again, he's one of the best in reading those situations. He's been that way now for the last 10, 12 years. When he first come in the league, like I said, you could probably, you know, trick him a little bit, but now you're not going to show him anything he hasn't seen before. So that's why all 5 men have to be tied together.
Yeah, last year, I mean, we had 61 threes, you guys made 27. How do you, what in context of what you're talking about, can you do to prevent them going off in the three-point?
Well, again, it's what you're going to live with, Michael. I'm not going to sit here and give you up a strategy. I know everybody's trying to. I'm not going to give it up. But, again, there's certain things you got to live with and some things you want to take away. And they have very, you know, when you put Corver, J.R. Smith, Kevin Love out there, and you put Tristan Thompson diving to the rim, you got to cover something. And you got to take away something. So it depends on what you want to live with and try to win the game with. And you know, again, that's going to change probably from game to game or from quarter to quarter.
How important is it, you know, given he is playing 40-plus minutes, and so he says he's kind of tired, he's burnt after Game 7. How important is it to put pressure on him?
You believe he's tired?
He said he was.
Oh, okay. I don't believe it. I believe it when I see him sitting over on the bench, and I hadn't seen that very much because he's playing at such a high level. It's amazing the type of condition he's in, you know. So we're not banking on that. But what's your question?
Well, do you want to put pressure on him? Do you want to make him work for the 40, 42 minutes on the floor? Rather than, he says he picks his spots on time, he takes possessions off defensively at times to save himself. Do you want to somehow find a way to...
There's certain things we want to do to try to make him expend some whatever energy he has. I don't believe he's tired and he's on a mission, but there are certain things we want to do to try to do to make him expend some more energy. And you know, there's a variety of ways we can do that. So again, there's nothing new under the sun from either side, I'm sure. But, you know, I don't want to sit up here and give away our game plan and what we want to do, how we want to do it, what we want to take away, what we want to give them. That wouldn't be prudent on my part.
Dwayne, do you think LeBron does things for show, for instance, regarding his physique? And if he does, could that be a success?
Well, if he told you he's tired, he's not being very honest, I don't think. I don't think he's tired, you know. So if that's what you're asking, I'm not saying he's a lying man, but I don't think he's tired. He's seen too many. He's been through too many of these and he's professional enough to know how to buy time or save energy or whatever it is. So we're going into it and approach it like it's a fresh James in those situations.
Mike, you can
Carl.
devise tactics to attack him, but so much of what he is his aura. How do you combat that?
Well, this is what causes that. Us up here talking, spending 15, 20 minutes talking about it causes that. I mean, everyone knows how great a player he is, but, you know, you've got to go in with a healthy amount of respect and a healthy amount of disrespect, and from that standpoint. And he will respect that. Jordan respected that. Karl Malone, those guys, Kobe Bryant, those great ones, they respect you coming at him. And the physicality you got to play with him, how hard you got to play against him. So I think that's the only way you combat that aura against a great player. And the only way I know is going against in battles against the other great ones, how people used to go at Dirk, how much he respected that. So, there's respect, and then there's too much respect. And I think all the great players respect teams that play hard against them.
The last few times we've asked you about Obi, keep coming back to the word maturity. How much of confidence is that level of maturity for you? How much is confidence hard?
On his part, I think a lot of it. I think he's very confident in who he is and what he is and his role. He understands his role and who he is and what he can do. I think that's a lot of the maturity factor that you see is the self-confidence he has in himself, and which is a good thing. And I haven't seen it shaken yet, and so hopefully it continues and continues to grow. I think this year has been great for the young man. He's done everything we've asked him to do. He's grown in so many areas. So again, this is only the beginning for him.
What did you see from Pascal as the series went on? It seemed like he found himself.
Confidence. I think the confidence level, because a lot of the mistakes he were making were very uncharacteristic of what he had done prior to that, Eric. And some of the turnovers and mistakes and bad shots that he took were, he was so amped up. And again, I thought he just got more relaxed and more confident in what he was doing at that moment in the playoffs. And that's he was fighting himself a lot, and again, once he relaxed, and I credited Fred for some of that. I told him he had that little birdie on his shoulder talking to him, and it helped him, but he was a different player in the last game of that series and did so many positive things.
How much has the JV improvement allowed you to maybe keep him out there when they go to a smaller?
A lot. He's done a much better job of guarding bigs when they go small with Love at 5. Channing Frye was the same way last year. JV's awareness is much better, not perfect, but much better than it was at that time. So that allows us to do that. And again, he's got to dominate at the other end, whether it's on the boards, finishing plays at the rim, rolling to the basket and finishing. All those things he has to be great at, and he will be. He's much improved, Bruce, as far as his approach last year defensively and guarding guys like that.
Last question? When you talk about the supporting cast, how important can a healthy George Hill be to the Cavs in this series?
Well, he gives them it saves LeBron from handling the ball as much. Having a quarterback out there, a true point guard. His ability to shoot the ball gives him another shooter. The way Jose was shooting against us last time, they don't need very many more shooters, but he gives them that and a defender, also a defensive point guard that matches up. So, him getting healthy was a big plus for them yesterday.